Hey y'all! Today we're going to be talking about the four most important steps that you need to follow in order to be a successful tax deed investor buying delinquent real estate for their taxes, okay? So this is regardless of the state. Many people ask me, what about this state? What about Virginia? What about Florida? What about Texas? What about, right? So there are 50 states, you guys, 50 states that make up the United States. And then we also have territories. The United States has territories as well that also has property, real estate, or real property. And they also collect real estate taxes in those territories as well. So you can imagine there is a variety of information that is applicable in one area and then not applicable in another. So I am going to share with you the four different things that you should be focused on instead of trying to, memorize it all. All right. So first things first. Decide on the state. I've said that like a million times. Like, decide where you're going to invest. It could be the state that you are living in, or it could be another state. It's okay. You can invest and purchase tax deed properties in areas that you do not live in. Okay. So whether it's your state, but you're investing in counties across the state, but you still are a resident of that state, it's okay. If you live in one state and you decide, hey, I live in Virginia, but I want to invest in Florida, or I live in Florida, but I want to invest in Texas, it's still okay. All right. And I'm going to tell you why. So step one. The first thing you have to do is understand the laws, the specific statutes surrounding delinquent real estate taxes, the collection of delinquent real estate taxes in that specific state. So in my training, in my real estate investor training for tax liens and tax deeds, which covers all 50 states, what I am an advocate for my clients and for my students is ensuring that they understand the state laws. Like, why are you investing anywhere in any investment vehicle, whether it's cryptocurrency, whether it's real estate, whether it's, watches or cars or anything, if you don't understand the rules? You must understand the rules. I can't stress that enough. More importantly, the rules are outlined in the state statutes in their laws, right? So in my course, Tax Deed Genius, I provide all 50 states the statutes for their collection, for their real property collection. So it answers the who, the what, the when, the where, the why, like the 5 W's. Like back in school, they tell you the 5 W's of every situation. That's what the state law does, right? So the first step is to understand the state laws. It'll give you your left and your right limits. You'll know exactly what to do. You'll know your redemption periods. You'll know your right as an investor. You'll know the rights of the property owner. You'll know how long the property owner has to pay you back if it's a tax lien state. You'll know all of these things. You'll know the interest rate that you're going to get if it's a lien state. You'll also know the what you'll get when you buy the deed if it's a tax deed state. You'll understand the entire process if you just read the law. Just slow down and read the law, babe. That's it. It's not like rocket science or a mystery, or, they're trying to like withhold information for you. It's literally published to the public in the law. All right, cool. So identify the state, read the state laws regarding the collection of delinquent real property. Now, number 2, I wrote it down. Understand the auctions rules. Okay, so now this is more like at the county level. So once you've identified the state, you've read their law, you're going to obviously choose, where in the state you're going to invest, right? So each county, maybe they have their auctions in person, right? You physically have to be present, or maybe a representative for you has to be present in order to participate. Or maybe they have auctions that are online, which makes it a lot more convenient. Nevertheless, there's auction rules for participation. So you have to understand what those auction rules are for participation in those auctions. It only makes sense, right? So whether the auction is in person or it's virtual, that's fine. You also have to understand the deposit requirements for the auction. Also, that's listed not only in the auction rules, but it's also going to be listed in the state statutes as well. They're going to tell you what the deposit is, but at the auction, they're going to tell you the methods of payment for that deposit, right? Whether it's cash, whether it's a cashier's check, money order, wire transfer, ACH deposits, electronic checks. They're going to tell you exactly how you can pay them, via for the deposit, and then also how you are responsible for paying them and how much time you have to pay them if you are the successful bidder, right? So you got to read the auctions rules. Now, number 3 is really, really important. This is like our bread and butter as investors, right? Remember, I tell you that investors make their money when they buy. So the third and most important thing is due diligence, making sure that you understand everything that's happening with that property as well as the property's owner, okay? So due diligence includes not only checking out the physical, appearance of the property and its condition. That's one step, but the most important step is the paper behind that property, right? So that includes a full title search, right? So I teach my students how to do their own title search. It's the same process that a title company would perform for you. It includes not only a lien search in the public records and land records of that county, but it also includes a municipal search as well too, to include utility liens as well as any type of like abatement liens and code enforcement liens and things like that. So all of that is really, really important. Why? Because there are certain liens that may survive the sale, and those liens are government liens. So there's all different types of lien types, of course, right? There's multiple lien types, but there's only certain liens that we pay attention to as tax deed investors because they pose the highest risk to us. Not that you won't purchase a property with a government lien on it, but you have to know that they exist. The worst thing that you can do is purchase a property and then find out that it has extra liens that are still attached to the title of that property, and it transferred over to you and now is encumbering the title of your property, right? Is actually like a cloud on your property. So number 4 is clearing the title, right? Having marketable title. So having marketable title is an exit strategy step. It's not mandatory, but if you want a marketable title and title insurance for your property after you've purchased it at the auction, there's steps that you have to take in order to complete that process, right? So you have to make sure that you have a plan in place to obtain marketable title for your tax deed once you actually win it at the auction. So whether you win it at the auction or you purchase it from the lands available for taxes list from the county, having marketable title is an advantage. It's not a disadvantage, but it's an advantage, right? To you, the investor, because you get to insure your title and get title insurance for your ownership and for your deed. So those are the 4 different things you got to focus on, you guys. Regardless of the state, I get a lot of questions, like state-specific questions, but this process is universal regardless of the state, all right? If you're looking for state-specific information, obviously you're going to have to read that state's laws, and where you can access that information, obviously you can, try to find it on the internet. But if you want it in a more compiled and a more like reader-friendly, user-friendly format, you can invest in Tax Deed Geniuses course that I created for you guys, and you can find that information on thejackyjackson.com. So have any questions about it, feel free to email me, send a pigeon, call me, do anything like that, and I'll be happy to explain the process to you and help you get started as a tax deed investor so that you could experience a lot of great success. All right, talk to you guys soon.